Let's meditate for a couple of moments. How about that? Let's take this moment to just relax right in your chair, right where you are. Allow yourself to feel supported. And as you allow yourself to feel supported, allow your eyes to close. And as I allow my eyes to close, I imagine that my heart opens. So I close the eyes, but I open my heart. Imagine that happening. And consciously and deliberately, we simply follow the breath. Inhaling deeply, faith. Hear that in your mind as you inhale, faith. And exhaling completely, gratitude. So just breathe at your own pace, but every inhale, just hear in your mind, faith. And with every exhale, just hear in your mind, gratitude. And as we hear the words faith and gratitude, we remember that there's nothing to do except breathe right now. Again, inhaling deeply faith, exhaling completely gratitude. The heart is wide open. Just following the breath. Just inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And if thoughts enter your awareness, you get to remind yourself, oh, I don't have to deal with that right now. I'm just breathing. That's it. Inhaling deeply, faith. Exhaling completely, gratitude. As you continue to inhale deeply, as you continue to exhale completely, imagine the feeling of a big, warm hug. Just feel that as you're breathing. And ever so gently, we begin to allow our attention to return to this moment, perhaps wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. And with our hearts wide open, I take this opportunity to speak a word of blessing for today's gathering. Mother, Father, God, infinite intelligence, I am thankful and grateful for this unique and specific way that God has showed up as this service. For I know that God is everything, and I know that everything is God. God is my life. I could never, ever be separate, distant, or apart from the only life that there is. So my life has to be the life of God. And as I know this to be my truth, I know this to be the truth for absolutely everyone present here. We show up individually and collectively as God itself. And so I already know that this service is important, that this service is a celebration. God celebrates itself in us, as us, and through us on this particular day. I'm thankful and grateful for the unique and specific yes that our very own Reverend Alfreda Lanoix spoke when she accepted the invitation to be our speaker, speaking on the topic of faith. Thankful and grateful for our very own Reverend Francisco Ramos with the God Shot. Thankful and grateful for Chris Etscheid with the music. Thankful and grateful for the service committee. Thankful and grateful that God has showed up this day as each of us and as all of us. So I name, claim, accept, and give thanks that this is a fantastic session, a fantastic service, a launch pad to greatness that continues to go before us and that continues to reveal and show up for us in a most magnificent way. So with gratitude and thanksgiving, I release this prayer. I let God take over, guiding and directing us from glory to greater glory. It's so good. And so it is. Amen. So good to see everyone together. And at this moment, I am going to invite our very own Reverend Tom Hennessy to lead us in our mission statement. Reverend Tom.
Okay, our mission statement. Inspire is a spiritual community of like-minded souls committed to walking our talk in joyous fellowship by demonstrating the power of love, compassion, and non-judgment every day in every way. Recognizing the divinity of all life, we stand united by actively liberating humanity by healing judgment, fear, and shame within ourselves. Our intention to create world peace, piece by piece. Woo! And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Reverend Francisco Ramos for our God Shot.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us be part of today's service. It's so great to be here with you all today. So I'm giving the God Shot. The topic is on faith. And there was a time when I thought that faith and belief were the same thing. And then once I went through Inspire's practitioner training, we learned that there was a difference between the two. A belief is the acceptance that something is true. Right? A belief is an acceptance that something is true, where faith is an affirmative thought. Right? Faith is an affirmative thought. So an affirmative statement such as I can change our beliefs from a denial state into a positive faith, right? That shift of I can. And that shift of consciousness has a reverberating effect. One of the affirmations that I learned from Inspire and continue to use every day is that our greatest good is always unfolding. Our greatest good is always unfolding. And this affirmative thought has helped me in challenging times as well as times of ease. And years ago, I shared this story with the community, but I want to share it again because it still holds relevance. A friend of mine, this is going back pre-pandemic, a friend of mine hosted a movie night at a park on the West Side. And it was a gaggle of gays watching Disney's Hercules and singing the songs. And it was right around dusk, and we had a full spread picnic with blankets and a projector and all the equipment that we needed. And about halfway through the movie, several cop cars pulled up. And they had asked whether or not we had a permit to watch a movie in the park, right? After all, it is LA, and you need a permit to do everything. But we did not. And since we didn't have a permit, they asked us to pack everything up and leave the park. And immediately there was resistance. Some of the gays were up in arms, shouting their civil liberties. There were people claiming that the cops were homophobic. They were white cops and we were a mixed crowd in a white neighborhood park. So that got brought up as well. And there was definitely people who refused to leave. But in moments like that, you take a deep breath, you remember your spiritual practice, and the greatest good is always unfolding. And the universe speaks in mysterious ways, right? And you have to learn to identify when it's speaking to you. And I was not about to die on that cross, especially to some Disney movie that happened 20 years ago. So, so I did what I was told, and I started to pack up, and a couple of us started too. And we started to put the electronics away, and put the blankets and the food. And I kid you not, the moment that everything was put away and I closed the trunk of the car, all of the sprinklers in the park came on, like the big golf course sprinklers that spray everything. And there was a screech, and all you could see is everyone running around like a scatter of ants, screaming, trying to get out of the water. And all I could do was laugh and laugh and laugh, because in those moments, you see the mysticism of the universe, right? You see that there is this greater hand moving beyond that which you can conceive with your own eyes. So our greatest good is always unfolding. Had the cops not showed up and told us to pack everything up, everything would have been soaked, right? All electronics, the projector, the computer, our clothes, ourselves, we would have been drenched in water. But we were sent messages to assist us right when we needed them, right? Messengers are always available to you, but it's whether or not you recognize it. So your outlook on life, your perspective, has a far-reaching effect. So we become aware of what it is that we are affirming. Those who saw the cops as hostile created a feeling of animosity within themselves. They created a poison that only they drank. Those who saw the cops as messengers didn't drink that poison. We had the same experience, but two different perspectives that created two different effects. Some of the friends left upset, while I left laughing and joyful. You decide how you see the world around you. And so developing a spiritual practice, we learn these principles so that we call upon them in our time of need. Faith is affirmative thoughts, and that power lies within you. You have sovereignty over your mind and body. Do not give up that power. Keep the faith alive. Thank you.
Say that I'm going to be sharing a song that is an original song called Spirit of Love. Right now, I'm going to sing it live for the first time, and I'm excited to do so. It's called Spirit of Love, and it is available on all streaming platforms as of this month. You can find it. I'm going to see if you can see this. It looks like this. It might be backwards in your screen. But if you look up my name, Chris Etscheid, and Spirit of Love, it's released officially under the Perry Twins because they were the producers and co-writers. But we're all there. And it's a lovely song for the season, but also for year round. I hope you enjoy it. It's rooted in gratitude. And yeah, it's a song for the season. Thank you. Look around, what do you see? Open your heart, what do you feel? Listen close, what do you hear? Come celebrate, the time is near. Heaven's light deep in the sky. Open stars, see where it leads. Love is here if you believe. Just one more sleep on Christmas Eve. It's the season of giving, and this joy's a reason for living. Through all the years, I keep believing in the light above that guides us to the Spirit of Love. inside, down in your soul. There you will find what others truly need. Time to choose what gifts to share. Then you will see how much you care. Feel the peace, it's close tonight. Give of your heart, that's when you'll feel. By the tree, warm in the glow. The sacred's in reach, it's ours to know. It's the season of giving, and this joy is a reason for living. Oh, through all the years, I keep believing in the light above that guides us to the spirit of love. Whoa, will you hold this feeling always? Or won't you share this joy with me? Will you keep this love forever and cherish all these memories? Whoa, it's the season of giving, and this joy is a reason for living. Through all the years, I keep believing in the light above that guides us to the spirit of love. Whoa. Thank you. And cheers for happy holidays to everybody here, however you may practice and however you may experience it in the world. I so am appreciative of you all. Thank you. And Reverend Frida, I look forward so much into being into your presence today. So thank you.
That was amazing, Chris. Thank you so very, very much. Your voice is so beautiful. And every time we get the opportunity to listen to the gift that you give to the world, it just really warms my heart. It goes straight to my soul. So thank you so very much. I feel like we got a treat today. Was that a treat, Garrett, or what? I mean, come on now, you know. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are a treat.
I don't even know where to go with it.
It's so good.
And also, Reverend Francisco, thank you so much for your God shot. That was really amazing. I just love you guys. I love you both. I am excited about being here today. You know, the thing about Inspire is that it constantly inspires me. And I'm always challenged whenever I'm given a topic or a subject to speak on. And what's important to me is that because we've heard these terms pretty much all of our lives. We've heard about have faith, having faith in God. And so when when I take on the topic and the subject, and I began to do my own research and really also examine my life and see how has this thing called faith worked in my life. What I get, the insight I get, and the aha moments I get are just unbelievable. And when I was given the word faith today, you know, it's all about faith. And what I've discovered is that faith is something that we were born with. You know, you've heard me say before that everything that you need in order for you to be who you authentically are, you have everything you need, whether it's your intuition, your insight, just whatever it takes in order for you to be fully who you are, you have it within you. And what I've discovered is that faith is one of those tools that is an inside job. Faith, believe it or not, is not necessarily connected to religion. It is a separate entity of its own. And so that's why you hear the term have faith in, whatever it is, have faith in. So in order for you to have faith in something, whether it's God, Allah, the universe, whatever you want to call it, you must first recognize and realize that having that faith in must come from within you. So you were born with it innately. It's part of your birthright. And because we have been so conditioned to look for whatever it is that we need on the outside, we don't necessarily know how to acknowledge or the awareness of how powerful, again, we really are, because our faith lies within. So I want to talk about there are three types of faith that I want to express today. And I'm going to talk about the faith in oneself, and how once you recognize and once you acknowledge the faith in yourself, how that impacts your life, that awareness, that the faith or whatever it is that I need to make it through a situation, it is within me. Faith in oneself. What it does is, when you have that faith in yourself, it allows you to recognize that whatever you're going through, this too shall pass. It also lets you know that life happens, life is going to happen, but it's called life, but you have whatever it is that you need in order to make it through. Having faith in oneself is a difference between, and sometimes we get it confused because we think, because we know how to make it through, we know how to push through. But when you have faith in yourself, it is allowing you to have and to be able to know the difference between struggling through something and making it through something. See, there's a difference, and sometimes we get that confused. So there's a faith in oneself. When I have faith in myself, I walk different. I talk different. I look at life different because I have within me what I need in order to create the reality that I so desire. So faith in oneself. And then there's faith in others, having the faith in the goodness of people around us. And then there is faith in the unseen. Now that's when we're talking about faith in our higher power, faith in the universe, faith in God. But what I discovered is that my lack of self-faith leads me to have no faith in others. And that's why everything, and I really want you to hear that, everything is an inside job. Everything starts with you. My lack of faith in myself allows me to not have faith in my relationship, faith in my job, faith in my career, faith in the gifts that God has given me, because it starts with me having the faith within myself. We've been so conditioned to always look on the outside for whatever it is that we need that is within us. And the thing about free will is nothing will ever be forced upon us. It is only until you have the power, or you have the power to recognize that you have what you need within you. When you have the lack of faith in yourself, what that does is it leads to making you feel that, nothing's coming my way. Nobody really cares about me. Somebody is out to get me, because lack of faith in yourself makes you a victim. Lack of faith in yourself makes you a victim. Now, faith is the tool that's needed to live an authentic life. Faith is critical to being alive, to living, and to understanding that you already have it. See, religion tries to tell you that you need to do this and this to be pleasing in the eyesight of God, to do everything right, to be perfect in order to be blessed by God. Faith is your birthright. There's nothing that you have to earn, nothing that you have to do other than to acknowledge it. I don't even know if you know how powerful that is. When I have lack of faith in myself, that means I have nothing to put in other things. Lack of faith in myself means I have lack of faith in my relationship. Because if I don't trust myself, I can't trust anyone or anything else. And how does that show up in your life? You become an overachiever. You become a giver of things that you don't have to give. You become controlling because you don't trust, you don't have faith, and you don't feel that the universe, God, is doing and giving and there for your highest good. Lack of faith makes you struggle. It makes everything in your life a struggle. So when you have lack of faith, it doesn't mean that you don't make things happen. When you have lack of faith, it doesn't mean that you don't keep it moving. But the price you pay for it with lack of faith, the price you pay for it is that you don't enjoy it. You don't get the fulfillment from it. You're not content with it. You can't sit with it. You can't celebrate it because of the lack of faith in yourself. None of us know what will happen the next minute, yet we still go, because whether we acknowledge or not, it is the faith that allows us to keep going. But when we acknowledge it, we become so powerful because we're not stressed out as much. We don't have to always go to ground zero. Like things happen in our life, we create this beautiful energy and life for ourselves. And then soon as something comes along, with the lack of faith in who we are, without trusting that we have what it takes in order for us to make it, we go back to ground zero. And so what happens is that we continue to have the same experiences over and over and over again. And then we get emotionally exhausted and we get tired. And then we lose the joy of life because we stay in the struggle. Faith is the key. When you're living a life full of hope, peace, freedom, and acceptance, patience, versus living a life full of doubt, restrictions, blame, fear, worry, the only difference is our faith. In order, you can be successful, you can have goals that you can accomplish, but the difference is the price that you pay. We're driven. I say that all the time. We are all driven. But the key is what's driving you. And with faith, trusting in yourself, you will be driving from a space of knowing that all is working together for your highest good. Faith allows you to know that because you trust, and because when you look and see your life, and when you're honest with yourself, no matter what it is that you've been through, you have what it takes in order for you to make it. You've made it. You continue to make it. But the difference is you don't give yourself the credit. Somehow you think that you got to go outside when it's an inside job. When you have the ability to begin to trust yourself. And when I was studying this, I had to examine my life. And I began to look at why sometimes I find myself emotionally exhausted, mentally tired, physically down. And what I discovered was it was because of the lack of faith in myself. Now, we can say, I have faith in God. I have faith in the universe. I know that the universe is plentiful. I know that the universe is always working for my highest good. But if you have no faith within yourself, if you can't trust yourself, it makes it difficult for you to even acknowledge the blessings that are in your life. You're very powerful. You are so powerful. And wherever you are in your life is where you have chosen to be. But when you begin to acknowledge the awareness of your power and who you really are authentically, and that everything that you need to be who you are, your journey, your walk, you begin to see the adventures of life. You begin to enjoy life in spite of, because you have the faith and the trust within yourself that you will choose what's for your highest good. Now, when we realize and we wake up from within, we realize that faith is the byproduct of that. When you wake up, when you are honest with yourself, when you say, you know what, let me look at the last time I went through this situation. When you have faith, see, some of us, we have such a lack of faith until we've had relationships, we've had our heart broken, and we refuse to go back into a new relationship because of the lack of faith within ourselves, because of not trusting that I will choose for my highest good, trusting that I will choose me. How do I know I will choose me? Because I've chosen me before. And when you understand and have that faith in yourself, how do I know that I'm open for a new relationship? Because I know from the relationship I came from that I was honest with myself and I was able to really look at the choices that I was making. But at the end of the day, I don't care how much they said they loved me. I don't care how much they said that I was the apple in their eye. I realized that they were not treating me with honor and respect. And I had the courage, even in being in love, to choose myself. See, that's where the faith comes in. It might have taken me a minute to choose myself. I might have had to go through different situations, but at the end of the day, I chose me. That's faith, trusting from within, recognizing that you have what it takes in order for you to be authentically who you are. Faith isn't something that I see with my two eyes or understand sometimes even with my mind. It's something that I feel with my soul. See, it's an inside job. When you came here to experiment and experience life, you came here with everything you needed in order for you to be who you are. But we got caught up in religion. We got caught up in society telling us that we needed to be this and do that, telling us that we're not good enough, that we will never be perfect in the eyesight of God. Honey, you are God, and all that is God is you. And so if God and I am one, the faith, having faith in myself is having faith in God. I don't care what gift you've been given. If you don't have the faith within yourself, the trust within yourself, it is simply just a gift. Whew. Sometimes faith doesn't flow freely. Sometimes I find myself in difficult situations. But the art of how to activate that faith within. Faith is one of your superpowers. See, we talked about superpower on the, we talked about putting on the cape of gratitude, how that is a superpower. We have so many superpowers. We were just not been able to be exposed to. How do we apply them in our lives? How do we acknowledge them? Because they're already there. And so faith is one of our superpowers. I'm telling you, if we start tagging into our superpowers, the universe says yes to your will and yes to your way. But it follows your lead. And if you're leaving or looking for your superpower or for your acceptance or for your acknowledge on the outside, people can't give you what they don't have to give. If you're honest with yourself, your mother couldn't give you what she had not even given herself, maybe what she was not even aware of. Because you are responsible for who you are. You are responsible for the life that you can blame all you want to, but at the end of the day, it is you. And when you don't acknowledge your power and you don't see your power, you just continue on the journey of creating a world that is not for your highest good. And then you get exhausted, and then you get depressed, and then you get tired because you keep looking on the outside. You keep putting your faith in God. Put your faith in the God within you. Trust from within. Because let me tell you, if I can't trust me, I cannot trust anybody else because I can't see it, I can't feel it, I can't acknowledge it, I don't know when it's happening. You can have somebody come along and says, I love you. I love you. I want you. I got your back. But let me tell you, you don't even know what that feels like, look like. You can't acknowledge it. You can't even accept it. Because no one can give you that you have not given yourself. Now you can give what you think love is, which can be abandonment, can be attachment, can be codependency. But until you acknowledge who you are, your powers, your superpowers, your faith, your gratitude that was given, is innately in you. It's like a baby. You know, when a baby is born, you don't have to teach the baby how to nurse or how to suck the bottle. It's born with that. It immediately knows, I need to suck if I want to live. It's the same thing in our lives. If we want to live, not exist. And we've been existing, including myself. We've been existing, struggling, because we accomplished something. Think, oh, you know, I got what it takes. I'm gonna make it happen. I will make it happen. And especially as women of color, we're taught to make it happen. We're taught to be strong Black women. Girl, come on. You know, you listen, give me some flour. I'll make you a feast. But when we begin to acknowledge, I don't choose to struggle anymore. I'm not going to allow society to put that struggle on me. I can even imagine, you know, I said to myself, you know, if we were just really taught that we have our faith in ourselves, we would not allow anything or anybody to stop us from living and creating the life we say that we want to live. When you begin to have that faith from within that's already there, just begin to acknowledge it. You begin to create a new experience for yourself. You come out of victimhood. Some of us, we live in victimhood. We know what that looks like. We know what it feels like. We know how to manipulate it. We know how to make it work for us. But the price that we pay becomes too great. See, I know how to make it happen. But if I'm making it happen and I'm pushing it through and I'm struggling no matter what, I'm not going to let it fall. Come on, give it to me. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm going to run with the ball. Give it here. And I run with the ball. But by the time I get to the end, I'm exhausted mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Don't give me the damn ball. You keep the ball. But when you have faith, when you acknowledge it, because you already have it, you already have it. Now, how do you do? It says the art is how to activate faith that's within. It requires that, number one, you live consciously. You got to live consciously. You got to be able to acknowledge something that Francisco said. You know, it's perspective. It's all about how you see it. You know, some people see the glass half full. Some people see the glass half empty. Some people see the glass completely full. He could have taken that situation and he could have made it like, oh my goodness, they're out to get me. The police is out to get me. If I was not gay, if I was not Black. I'm not saying those situations don't occur, but they're not across the board. They should not be the first thing you go to, and especially if you are breaking the law. Let's start there. You know, some of us, you know, because we're victims, even when we're not doing what we feel or what should be the right thing to do. And when somebody questions us, because we don't have the faith in ourselves, we don't trust ourselves, we immediately become defensive. We immediately want to fight because everybody's out to get us. Because that's what we've been taught. Because we're victims. Because we're powerless. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I have a feeling that if I was a slave, I would have been like, y'all, we need to get together. We need to have, come on, more. It's more of us than them. As a society, when we have faith in ourselves, then we have faith in our society. Then we move. But if I don't have faith in myself, how can I give what I don't even have to give? So then, no, I don't trust my community. I can't trust my community when I can't trust myself. And then I'm on the side. I'm the sideliner. Child, you know, I thought Inspire was going to inspire me. Woo! O ye of little faith in yourself. It requires that we live consciously. And when you live consciously and you trust faith and you know that faith is an inside job, then what happens is that you begin to realize that every wound contains wisdom. Ooh. Because having faith don't mean you're not going to go through some stuff, because that's called life, because we're human. But you begin to realize, wait a minute, I went through something. Let me be honest. Let me trust myself. Let me trust what I feel. What did I get out of that? You realize that every struggle and suffering can lead to strength. Because sometimes, you're going to go through. But where can it lead you to? It can lead you to, I say in my book called Go to Hell, your greatest obstacle becomes your greatest insight if you allow it. Whew. When you start recognizing your truth and having faith and realize that life is a process, life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for your evolution and consciousness. It'll give it to you. But you have to be open. You have to live consciously in order to acknowledge. Because, the thing about life is that things will continue to show up until you get it. That's it. It'll keep it. It's just saying, hey, you didn't get it that particular because you kind of need to get this because this is a part of your evolution. This is a part of your authenticity. This is a part of you growing. This is a part of you saying that you want to create another outlook for yourself. Now, you said that this is what you wanted, so this is what you need to get. This is a part of it. When I continue to have the same experiences over and over again, I'm able to stop and recognize it is not Jane, Jill, Sally. I'm the common denominator in this situation. And clearly there's something that I'm missing. And when you can be open and honest with yourself, look what I continue to create. Look what I continue to create. Why am I continuing to create this same outcome or these same emotions or these same feelings? Where do I need to grow? What is it that I need to accept? What is it that I need to let go? See, when you trust in yourself, you can be honest and say, wait a minute, I thought that was right for me. I thought that was working for me. But because I trust who I am and what I feel, guess what? I need to let her go. Am I going to hurt? Probably. Am I going to have some heartache? Probably. But what I am going to have, I'm going to have the peace of mind, the profound peace of choosing what's good for me authentically. The process of life. Faith allows us to face our adversities and to rise above the situations and or let them go. See, the thing about faith is that it will let you know. You got to know when to hold, and you got to know when to let them girls go, honey. Faith will allow you to embrace the unknown. Some of us are so much, we want to be in control. We want to control everything. You know, we want to think that we know, but we don't know. And that's just the way life is. You are not created to know everything. You don't have to know everything. And wait a minute, you might not even know this. You will never know everything. But with faith, you can trust the unknown. With faith, you walk into the unknown. With faith, you're excited about the unknown because you know you have what it takes within you, that you trust yourself. And if you're trusting yourself, you will trust the universe. You will trust the situation. You will trust when life shows up that it's all for your highest good. And that you have what it takes in order to embrace that you need in order for you to evolve and to continue the adventures of life. When you have faith and you trust within yourself, you can focus on your purpose. You don't have to play the doubt game. You don't have to go back and forth. Just because a door was not open, just because your expectations was not met, just because you didn't get the record deal that you thought you should have gotten, just because I didn't do the TED Talk. Hell, I'm doing the TED Talk now because I'm talking to you. And because I trust myself, because I have faith in who I am. See, when you have faith in who you are, the doors will magically open. People will call your name in rooms that you have no idea. The universe will make a way out of no way, but you will recognize when the way is being made. You'll be ready to go through the door. It hasn't happened because you're not ready. It hasn't happened because you don't really trust yourself. Everybody, you know, sometimes I want to be like Oprah. I want, you know, the money that Oprah has. But can you balance your checking account? When you have faith in yourself, when you trust yourself, this is an inside job. When the doors open, when the opportunity presents itself, when the universe makes a way out of no way, when people are calling your name, you will have what it is that you need to be able to go through the door. And you will go through the door knowing and trusting in your ability and the gifts that God has given you. That gift, that voice that sounds like nobody else's voice. The way that I express myself, nobody else can express themselves that way. You are uniquely created. You are so unique that even a twin, identical twin, is not the same. That's how powerful the universe is, the source is. And it gave you your superpowers. You just have to simply acknowledge them. When Superman would go into the telephone booth, he didn't go in there saying, "Am I Superman? Do I know what to do? Is this too much for me?" Hell no. He went in there like saying, "Choom, I'm Superman." That's who you are. Your superpowers. You are gratitude. You are faith. Tap into your superpower. Go into your own telephone booth with this your soul. Go within yourself. Don't let any words outside of you, society, or anybody, whether it's your mama, your father, your cousin, don't let anybody take away your superpowers. Don't let any society says because you're gay, because you're Black, because you're female, don't let anything outside of you take away your superpowers. You are the superpower. You have everything you need. As you go into 2023, you go into it with your superpowers. You fly, you put your cape on, you fly through the doors of opportunity. Let nothing stop you from the adventures of life. You have what it takes. You were born with it. You would not get the idea without the solution. You would not get the problem without the solution in order to evolve. You got it. Acknowledge it. I am a superpower. I damn sure am. And your opinion of me is not my reality. I was born with everything that I needed. I was born. I will not be robbed because of somebody else's opinion of me. I will not be robbed because maybe my mother did not know how to love me. I will not be robbed because you can't accept who I am. I will not be robbed because society says that I must be in order to be, and it's not true. I will fly into 223 with my capes on. I will fly open. I will fly with my superpowers, with my faith within myself. Whew. Have faith in you. You were born with it. Don't have to be religious to have it. It's not caught up in Christianity or Buddhism or whatever. It's not. It stands on its own. You didn't have to earn it. You just have to acknowledge it. God bless you. Thank you.
Oh, Reverend Alfreda. Wow. 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 Such a treat. We are so fortunate here at Inspire. Thank you so much, Reverend Alfreda, for that wonderful, wonderful sermon. And as always, you're so very, very clear in your delivery. And right now, I'm going to invite you to consider donating to Inspire. This message is so rich, and we are all doing our part in creating a world that works for everyone by supporting Inspire so that we can broaden our reach, so that we can embrace our LGBT QA brothers and sisters around the world. There are places where they don't get this message. And so we invite you to donate to Inspire so that we can broaden our reach and take this message around the world. Thanks to Zoom technology, we're already a global community. In addition to donating your money, if you have talents that can help us with editing or Zoom monitoring, again, go to that email that had the link to this service and just reply and just say, hey, you know what? I'm a video editor and I want to help get the Inspire message on YouTube so that it is available 24/7 for anyone who wants it. So there are so many ways to give. Most important thing, we just thank you for giving with an open and loving heart, because the reality is, whether it's money, whether it's time, we're sharing love. So thank you for coming to Inspire. Thank you for having faith. Thank you for being here. Thank you for Giving Tuesday. Thank you for auto tithing. Thank you for being you. There's a unique and specific way that God needs to show up, and God can only show up if you show up. So thank you for showing up so that God gets to show up full and complete.